Tonight on Coyote News, the Ebola virus has been making international headlines, but Vermilion doctors are more concerned about a different illness. And USD law students are asking questions about the Ferguson, Missouri case. I'm Brent Seehofer.
And I'm Kathleen Surrey. Veterans Day was a day off for some, a day of shopping for others, but for some USD students, it was much more personal. And learn about how students spent Monday night off campus for a good cause.
Plus, the swimming and diving team has hired a new diving coach, and the women's volleyball team takes down the Jackrabbits. But first, the headlines with Michaela Feldman.
2 window washers were rescued after being trapped on a scaffolding this afternoon, dangling at the 69th floor of the One World Trade Center tower. Rescue workers broke the double-paned glass walls to pull the workers to safety. The accident happened when a cable snapped on one of the sides of the scaffolding, leaving it hanging by just one cable. President Obama wants the national security team to review the U.S. policy towards Syria after realizing that it may not be easy to defeat ISIS. The group recently announced they have allies in Egypt, and if true, they would be the most dangerous group in Egypt. Obama announced the tactic of confronting ISIS in Iraq before taking them on in Syria. Earlier today, a probe softly landed 317 million miles away from Earth, making history for the first landing on a comet. Signals were received by the European Space Agency this morning, confirming the achievement. Shortly after landing, the probe tweeted its arrival. And those are your headlines.
Thanks, Michaela. Although the deadly Ebola virus has been making international headlines, health officials in Vermilion say students should be aware of a different illness. Influenza season is quickly approaching, and physicians say the flu is very contagious, and it's more likely to contract this illness in South Dakota than Ebola.
We really should focus on what we are more commonly going to see, and not that we shouldn't be worried about Ebola, but we need to focus on what is more common here.
Scheffel says the influenza vaccination prevents an illness that can take you out of work or school for up to 10 days. She says the shot is usually covered by insurance, and people 18 years and younger get it for free. Scheffel says Sanford has put a protocol in place, and all healthcare workers have been trained in case Ebola ever comes to the area.
Ferguson, Missouri made national headlines after a white officer shot and killed a black man. USD law students studied the case to figure out if there was an explanation behind the shooting. Don McRae from South Dakota Law Enforcement Training Academy told the students there are 3 reasons why police would fire at a suspect. He showed a video about deadly force used by an officer and acted out what the felon was doing. Before the session was over, students had the opportunity to ask legal questions about Ferguson and other similar cases. A grand jury will determine this month whether or not to indict Darren Wilson, the officer who shot and killed Michael Brown.
You may have passed by or even been in the Al Newharth Media Center, but did you know there's a lab in the building's basement? On this week's Yote Report, Nicole Griffith explains why researchers want to measure your reaction to media products.
The Newharth building is home to many organizations and is used as a quick entrance to campus. But what lies in room 11 may catch people off guard. The basement is home to the psychophysiology lab, where team members meet and discuss their research. Dr. Brandon Nutting was one of 2 professors to get the lab started.
It's a research lab where we look at the physiological responses to mediated messages, including the emotional responses and other types of messages, other types of responses that you have to any form of media.
I had the opportunity to test my own physiological responses. The research studies would involve sitting in this chair while you are watching TV shows connected to sensors. These sensors monitor your involuntary responses. Nutting says when it comes to these reactions, such as facials and heart rate, the body can't lie, which helps get exact answers. The team is currently working to make online clinical trials for cancer research and is testing how involved someone can get while watching TV. If you're interested in participating in these studies, you can sign up through USD's SONA program. For the Yote Report, I'm Nicole Griffith.
If you're interested in joining the research team, they meet Friday afternoons at 3:30 in the lab. And coming up, learn that Veterans Day means more than just getting a day off from classes. And find out how students spent their Monday night off campus for a good cause. Stay tuned.
made you pair up with the sound to show your school spirit.
Go for the up and under, and that one will fall for
91.1 Coyote Radio.
People across the U.S. celebrated Veterans Day yesterday. For some students, it's just a day off from school. But as Coyote News' Byron Bonashek reports, for others, it's a time of remembering and thanking the men and women who have served this country.
Last Wednesday, the Eagles Club hosted a Veterans Day dinner where veterans and their family and friends could gather together and be remembered for their time in the military. Attending the dinner were veterans ranging from the Vietnam War to the Gulf War all the way back to World War II. While attending the dinner, I had the chance to ask these veterans what makes the day so special to them.
I guess being in the service, Veterans Day is a little bit more personal, kind of hits home. Veterans are the reason I got into the service. Veterans that I started National Guard. Veterans are the reason I'm going to want to be an officer one of these days. I want to go active duty in the Army. And I guess veterans are the reason I'm doing what I'm doing.
The oldest in attendance was Clayton Howell, a World War II vet that served in the Navy. He shares with us why he's grateful for this day.
We survived, and here we are. I became a CPA, certified public accountant later in my life. Married a wonderful woman, have 2 wonderful daughters and a granddaughter. Life has been wonderful for me.
Later I met up with Captain Jerry Zaveski, Assistant Professor of Military Science, to see what his thoughts about Veterans Day are.
I get treated very well every day. Every day I go out, someone says, thank you for your service. There have been several times that my wife and I, our meal was picked up by some anonymous person. In small towns, you seem to get it every day, and that's nice.
For Coyote News, I'm Byron Bonashek.
Dakotathon 2015 is months away, but students are already raising money for the Children's Miracle Network. This Monday, Dakotathon members hosted a trivia night. Teams of all ages were welcome to play for $5 a person. Ashlyn Peitzmeyer says a trivia night was just one of the new events added this year.
We've heard it's happened before. We've heard it's been a great time, so we decided to do it for Dakotathon and kind of added some CMN facts and some DM facts, so to make it our own.
The prizes at Monday's event included free food and Vermbucks, which students can redeem at local businesses. And now Coyote News' Jackie Hendry is live in the muck with Dakotathon recruitment coach Jessa Naff to talk about FTK Week. Jackie?
Thanks, Brent. We used to know it as Dance Marathon, but now Dakotathon is only adding to their fundraising efforts. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So FTK Week is brand new this year. What exactly is going on during FTK Week?
So during FTK Week, we have lots of stuff going on. On Monday, we have a fundraiser at Pizza Ranch. It's all day long, so go get some pizza. We also are hosting a bowling tournament that night at 7 p.m. at Howlers. Tuesday, we have Muck Bingo. We're hosting Muck Bingo. It's Nacho Grandma's Bingo, so there will be nachos, all sorts of fun stuff. And then we'll also be serving Yolt floats in the muck from 3 to 4. Wednesday, we will be hosting kind of a little fun photo booth, Why You Dance photo booth in the muck. Thursday, we have Pie Professor, and we also have an informational meeting at 7 p.m. And then on Friday, we will be tabling.
What inspired you to hold a full week of events months in advance of the full day event in April?
We are really just looking to raise awareness for the cause really early on in the year. We do ask our dancers and participants to raise a certain amount of money to help reach our goal for Children's Miracle Network. So the earlier we can get people involved in the organization, the sooner they can start raising money, and the bigger our total will be at the end of the year.
And finally, how can students get involved between now and April for Dakotathon?
All right, well, we hold lots of fundraisers throughout the year. We hold pancake feeds, things like that. So one of the things you can do is stop by our table. We table in the muck on Tuesdays and Fridays. So you can sign up for our email list, get involved that way. You can also register for the day of event, which is on April 18th this year. It's a really exciting day, so signing up for that is a great way to get involved.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you.
That was Jessa Natha, student recruitment coach for Dakota-thon, on all the many ways students can get involved this year. Live in the Muck, I'm Jackie Hendry.
Thanks, Jackie. Coming up after the break, an artist came to USD to share her work and inspiration with students, and see what fraternity performed a comedy act for kids with cancer. Stay with us. The USD Art Department brought in guest printmaker Althea Murphy Price to share her work and experience with students. During her second visit to USD, Price told students about her art inspirations. During her lecture, Price discussed her journey with art and what she uses to inspire her work. Students were also shown how she puts each piece together from start to finish. Price has exhibited her work nationally and internationally. Price lives in Tennessee, where she's an assistant professor in printmaking.
A campus fraternity is bringing a Saturday night's worth of fun to a weekday. Pike hosted their annual Thursday Night Live fundraiser last week and has raised a lot more than just laughter. TNL is Pike's comedy philanthropy event that's open to all university and community members. The fraternity performs a variety of skits throughout the night, including sketches based off Coyote Confessions, a Greek newscast, and even Jeopardy! The money the Pikes raise supports the Sanford's Children Cure Kids Cancer organization in Sioux Falls. The event raised more than $5,000 for the charity, exceeding last year's total of $4,200. This was the 18th year Pike has hosted TNL, and the fraternity plans to continue the tradition.
A USD sorority, Alpha Phi, is hosting their annual Red Dress Gala with a silent and live auction this Saturday. Coyote News' Megan Card is live in the Muck with Alpha Phi member Caitlin Stern, who's in charge of the sorority's fundraiser. Megan?
Thanks, Kathleen. It'll be all about Women's Heart Health Saturday at the Sioux Falls Convention Center. I'm here with AFI's organizer of the Red Dress Gala to learn more about the event. Thanks for joining me today. Can you tell me a little bit about kind of what elements are a part of the Red Dress Gala?
Yes. The Red Dress Gala is the only formal philanthropy event on campus, and it consists of a silent and a live auction, and it's kind of a black tie affair with red accents, and all of the women in the house will wear red dresses.
And what money, who are you raising it for, and how much do you hope to raise by the end of the event?
By the end of the event, we hope to raise about $20,000 or a little bit over, because that's how much we raised last year. And the proceeds go to the Alpha Phi Foundation, which supports a variety of organizations, like the Forget Me Not Fund, Women's Cardiac Health and Research, as well as leadership opportunities and undergraduate scholarships.
And is there anything you guys are doing differently this year in regards to like promotion or the actual event itself?
Yes, this event this year is holding at a larger venue so that we can hold more people. We're hoping to have about 700 people in attendance, and this year versus last year, we're having a live auction first so that everyone can get excited right away, and our puppy this year is supposed to be our big event.
Thank you very much. That was junior Caitlin Stern talking about the Red Dress event, or Red Dress Gala, happening at the Sioux Falls Convention Center Saturday. Live from the Muck, I'm Megan Card.
Thanks, Megan. On this week's blog, Abby Pierce gives us her thoughts on No Shave November.
By now, we're well into November, which means we may be seeing changes, not only in the weather, but also on the faces of men everywhere. Love it or hate it, it's No Shave November. This month-long event has its pros and cons. The biggest con, in my facial hair hating opinion, is that some guys look ridiculous. On some, it comes in extremely uneven and patchy, and then others look like absolute lumberjacks. I get a good laugh at some November end results. A pro is that facial hair can definitely work for some guys, a select few, but some. I don't want to leave out the girls. Some girls let their legs go free for this month as well. Personally, that would drive me crazy, but to each their own. Along with saving people time and money on shaving, another benefit of No Shave November that I was unaware of until recently is raising cancer awareness by growing hair, which many cancer patients lose. The American Cancer Society hopes that participants grow awareness along with their hair and donate what they would have spent on a month of shaving and grooming to help find the cure for cancer. I can't think of a better justification for awful facial hair or prickly legs. With that being said, I suppose I can handle a month of facial hair on the male population, but I can only hope that all of the participants don't choose to take part and don't shave December as well. For Coyote Blog, I'm Abby Pierce.
Thanks, Abby. Coming up next, find out how the volleyball team is preparing for the end of their season. Plus, hear how kicker Miles Bergner is setting new records for the USD football team. Stay with us.
Excuse me, ma'am, what is this?
Obstacle course training. It's how we prepare our staff to get you the news first. Not bad. The Blonde, first to the news, first to you. The student's voice for 125 years.
Tonight on Coyote Sports, the swimming team hires a new diving coach, and the women's volleyball team takes down the Jackrabbits. I'm Charlie Daldorf.
And I'm Erica Arpan, here from the football team's most dangerous weapon this year. It may not be who you'd guess. And sports commentator Grant Boziecki talks MLB free agency. But first, the headlines. Michaela?
In 5 years with the New York Jets, Mark Sanchez never had a game with 300 passing yards and 0 turnovers. But in one start with the Philadelphia Eagles, he did just that, after replacing the injured Nick Foles and helping the Eagles defeat the Carolina Panthers on Monday, 45-21. Sanchez celebrated the victory by going to 2 local Philly restaurants for some Philly cheesesteaks. Sanchez will likely start the rest of the year for the 7-2 Eagles. San Francisco 49ers linebacker Patrick Willis will miss the remainder of the season and will need surgery for his strained left big toe. The team placed him on season-ending injured reserve Tuesday. Losing Willis, a 7-time Pro Bowler, is a big blow for the 5-4 49ers. The good news is linebacker Aldon Smith back from his 9-game suspension and is expected to return this Sunday. And those are your headlines.
The Coyote volleyball team is preparing for postseason play. Coyote News' Tabari Ruffin finds out more about how they're getting ready to end the regular season.
Long before the ball is in the air, fans start to fill the Dannon Dakota Dome, and with them comes energy. The women's volleyball team has a winning record and are 11-3 in conference play. The Coyotes have enjoyed a 16-game home win streak here in the Den. However, they know they must build off that success if they want to make a deep postseason run. Part of the formula to that success is not being complacent.
Obviously, last year our season didn't end the way that we wanted it to, so we don't want to be satisfied, and we've started off the season so well, so we just want to carry it over into the conference tournament to finish off the rest of these regular season games.
Head coach Leanne Williamson says there's more work to do.
We are continually trying to improve. We're not satisfied. We're not okay with where we're at yet. We're going to keep pushing ourselves and keep pushing ourselves to be the best team that we can be come Sunday, come Tuesday, come next Sunday, and then going into the conference tournament as well. Home field advantage is huge for the Yotes.
Back, and the fans keep coming back louder and louder every game. Makes it really tough to play in, and especially in such a small gym like this. It feels like the fans are right on top of you, so we have a great fan support system.
The Coyotes extended their home game win streak to 17 last night with a win over South Dakota State. The Yotes have one home game remaining against IUPUI before the start of postseason play. For Coyote News, I'm Tabari Ruffin.
On Saturday, the USD football team hosted Western Illinois, looking for their first conference win of the season. Western Illinois started the game off quick with a 14-0 lead, but the Coyotes responded with 20 points of their own to take a 20-14 lead. The game was tied 23 at halftime, but it was all the Leathernecks in the second half as they went on to win 44-29. Eric Schuford led the team with 99 receiving yards, including a 21-yard touchdown. With the loss, the Coyotes fall to 2-8 overall and 0-6 in the conference. And although this isn't the best record, as Coyote News' Sydney Mook reports, sophomore kicker Miles Bergner is setting his own records at the university.
He may only be in his second season with the Coyotes, but USD already has high hopes for kicker Miles Bergner. The sophomore came to USD with an extensive resume as a high school kicker and punter, only missing 1 field goal his senior year. Despite missing 9 kicks last season, the Colorado native is already showing signs of improvement this year.
Bergner, 16 for 16 this season, has made his last 18 field goals. That's a record that goes back to last year.
However, Bergner says that he doesn't let the pressure of perfection influence him during a kick.
It intensifies a little bit. I try to get out all the pressure, the feelings of pressure at the beginning of the week, like today. I just handle it in a manner where I can ease myself back into it every week.
Head coach Joe Glenn says that he has enjoyed watching Bergner play the past 2 years and has hopes that he could take his talents to the next level.
Every time he bombs a punt and every time he makes a field goal and an extra point, that's my favorite part.
Bergner converted a career-long 50-yard field goal earlier this season, but the theater major says that relaxation is the key to success both on the stage and on the field.
You have to be able to be calm in tense moments and calm in moments of pressure, and it translates out here perfectly because it's exactly what I have to do in moments of pressure.
Bergner will attempt to keep his streak alive this week against Illinois State at the Dome. For Coyote News, I'm Sydney Mook.
USD will play their final home game and honor the senior players this Saturday against Illinois State.
Just 2 weeks into the season, the USD diving team learned their coach would be leaving for a new job. On Thursday, both the swimming and diving teams held their first conference meet of the season, and for the first time all season, the divers also had a coach. Junior Chase Testa says without a coach, each diver designed practices with techniques they wanted to work on. He says they weren't the most efficient, but they helped.
We didn't know what to do, so we kind of tried to stay positive and do the best we could and make sure that we were doing the most in our practices.
USD has hired Mealy Carpenter as an interim coach for the rest of the season. She previously spent time coaching in Colorado. Carpenter finished 8th at the Olympic trials in 2012. Testa says he's already enjoyed learning in the short amount of time he has with his new coach. Sophomore Grayson Herding was just named Summit League Diver of the Week for the 4th time this season and has already qualified for the NCAA Zone Championships. Sophomore Sam Shutt was named Summit League Swimmer of the Week for the 3rd time this season after winning all 6 of her individual events last week.
In just 2 days, the men's and women's basketball teams will kick off the season. The men's team will open theirs on the road at Utah Valley and Stanford under the direction of a new head coach. The men will play 5 teams who made the NCAA tournament last year, including Milwaukee, NDSU, Creighton, Wofford, and Stanford. The Coyote women are looking to make it farther into postseason this year. They opened their season at Drake before heading to Kansas. They will face 2 teams who made the NCAA tournament, including North Dakota and Chattanooga. The teams will play their first home game in 2 weeks.
The World Series is behind us, but baseball is still in the news. In this week's sports commentary, Grant Boziecki tells you his top 5 available free agents.
It's that time of the year in baseball where bidding wars begin and the owners start digging deep into their pockets. MLB free agency. Now, here's my top 5 available free agents. Coming in at number 5 is Nelson Cruz. With his PED suspension long behind him, Cruz is going to be a hot commodity. It'll be interesting to see if the Orioles pony up and pay baseball's top home run hitter last year. Number 4, Hanley Ramirez. Ramirez slowed down in years past, but he's still a middle infielder with plenty of pop. He also has some added appeal with his potential position versatility. Number 3, James Shields. He didn't quite live up to his Big Game James nickname this postseason, but he's durable and he has a good track record. I like him because you know exactly what you're going to get. Number 2, Max Scherzer. The 2013 AL Cy Young Award winner is number 1 on most boards. He'll undoubtedly get the most money this winter, but I'd be very concerned giving this guy $20 million into his late 30s. He's an ace, that's true, but it's going to be a little risky down the line if you ask me. And my number 1 free agent, John Lester. I like Lester more simply because I think he's the better value. Still expensive, sure, Don't get me wrong, but I would not be surprised to see him back in Boston. For Coyote Sports, I'm Grant Boziacki.
Coming up after the break, hear what it means to be a Coyote from USC's basketball teams. Stay with us.
There for you. Coyote News, Wednesday, live at 5.
As we mentioned earlier in the newscast, some people describe the month of November as No Shave November, meaning they don't shave for the entire month.
On this week's Out and About, we asked students if they plan on participating in No Shave November.
I think it's more of a thing that guys do.
I have the beard, I might as well sport it.
Well, I'm in a sorority, so I wear dresses every Monday, so probably not. I feel like it's more awkward for girls to participate in than guys.
Yes, I do, and because up until now I couldn't really grow facial hair, so...
I think it's disgusting.
Yes, my fiance and I have a challenge against each other. If he can do it, so can I.
I still plan to shave my armpits.
No Shave November was kind of a, I'll try and do it, but I couldn't grow anything, and now I can actually grow something.
I do not plan on participating because I don't like hairy legs.
Yes, because I like to stay warm at night.
If I do, I would probably look like a jailbird.
I really like to be hygienically clean.
I can't grow facial hair.
I more so just look forward to December 1st.
No, because I can't.
I'm single for enough reasons and I don't need to add to it.
If it happens, then it happens.
I think it's a lot more convenient to go a month with a little bit more facial hair. No, instead, I'm going to shave my whole body.
Both the men's and women's basketball teams celebrated successful seasons last year. The women became the first team in school history to make the NCAA tournament this past March.
As we continue our What It Means to Be a Coyote series, we catch up with the teams as they prepare for the season.
The men's and women's basketball teams know what it means to be a Coyote on and off the court. USC athletes know that it takes more, and while the men's new head coach Craig Smith adapts to the South Dakota life.
It's definitely a transition. There's no more private jets when we go recruiting, and not many charter jets with the team, but it's an exciting challenge and a great place to be.
Women's head coach Amy Williams is looking for another statement season.
I think, the big focus for us this preseason has just, major emphasis on becoming a better defensive team.
Coach Williams isn't the only one looking to improve this year. The players know this season won't be easy, but are ready for the competition.
What we learn in practice, we have to carry it over to the game, always.
Just coming to practice every day with one goal and one dream that is, just to do the best we can and have a great work ethic. And I think great things will happen if you give it your all.
One team, one dream has become the unofficial motto for the Lady Coyotes as they hope to advance even further into the postseason.
It's a special feeling and certainly something I take a lot of pride in.
Having pride in knowing that you represent your team, yourself, your school, and you're kind of a role model.
The men's team has had its fair share of ups and downs the past few years, but that hasn't stopped their fighting spirit. But the new coaching staff and system this building year just may be their year.
I just think that University of South Dakota and being a Coyote really epitomizes class. I think everything we do is first class. I think we have great people.
What it means to be a Coyote? Well, I feel like I'm going to be part of the Coyote family for the rest of my life. That's what being a Coyote is to me.
Be a part of our family here at USD and support your Coyotes.
A new edition of the Volant hit newsstands today. Be sure to pick up a copy and read about a lawsuit between Vermilion and Eagle Creek Software and learn about the opening of a USD holiday store in Sioux Falls. That's all for Coyote News. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
Have a great night. We'll see you next time.